After my long marriage ended in divorce at 50, followed by some tumultuous life events, something broke inside me. In a good way. I felt like I had just driven out of a parking garage over one of those one-way tire shredding spikes. There was no backing up. I was just done with certain things I'd always done, certain ways I'd lived for years. And if you're a guy in your 50s or 60s and you've noticed yourself becoming way less tolerant of things that used to just annoy you, saying, I'm done with that more often, or you've started cutting people and activities out of your life that feel like a waste of time, this video is for you. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've experienced this shift yourself and exactly how that's looked. So for me, it was like a switch flipped. And what also surprised me is that this feeling has not stayed the same, but has gotten stronger since then. In a big picture way, one of the things I noticed I started doing was protecting my time and energy much more intentionally than I used to, like the valuable resource it is to me. Also, I'm an introvert, meaning that I recharge my batteries by having time to myself. I need quiet time just to focus and be alone. Then, I'm much more balanced and pleasant to be around. I like people, but I need to be able to interact with them when and where I want. I stopped accepting invitations to things I didn't actually want to do. I used to just go along to get along, but I was just done wasting time doing things I wasn't interested in. I also became way more selective about who I spent my time with. And you realize as you get older that some people add value to your life and some people don't. You can have positive, quality, give and take relationships with some people, but not with others. Some people, unfortunately, are superficial, judgmental, not authentic, or just want something from you. I don't have time for them anymore. I also started saying no to things without the guilt I would have had before. I also realized there were environments I'd worked in over the years that were a really bad fit for me. But back then, I had used logic with myself to rationalize working there. And as I thought back about that, I realized as I had changed that you couldn't pay me enough to go back to some of those places. And while it's true that part of my ability to draw this boundary better was due to me working on my people-pleasing tendencies, the abrupt internal shift I'm describing that made me intolerant of things I would have put up with before just seemed to happen on its own. It was just a very clear done feeling. No more BS. As simple as that. And let me be clear, this isn't just about people pleasing. By the time you hit your 50s, you've spent decades giving your time and energy to jobs, organizations, social obligations, and family demands. You've done what responsible adults do. But there comes a point where, even as a caring person, you look at your life and you think, I'm tired of giving my energy to things that aren't meaningful to me. It's like you've reached a saturation point with life's demands, and you're just not going to play that game anymore. Now, I've talked to other guys, and I know I'm not the only one to have experienced this internal shift. So I decided to dig into this and see if there was actually something behind it. And here's what I found. Psychology research has a few well-established theories that explain this shift. The great calibration, you might think of it as, or some people call it the hitting their zero BS threshold. And one of the most important is called Socioemotional Selectivity Theory. It shows that as we get older, especially as we become more aware our time is finite, our priorities actually shift. When you're young, you're wired for exploration, you're learning, meeting new people, taking risks, and the potential payoff is in the distant future. So it makes sense to cast a wide net. But as you age, your perception of your future time naturally becomes more constrained, and this triggers a shift. You stop prioritizing activities for some theoretical future benefit and start focusing on what feels meaningful right now. And if you're getting value from this so far, please support the channel by liking the video. Thank you. I appreciate it. This is why you suddenly find yourself thinking, I don't care if this networking event might lead to something someday. It's boring, the people are superficial, and I'd rather spend those 2 hours doing literally anything else. Your brain is basically saying, hey, look, we don't have unlimited time here. Let's stop wasting it on low-value activities. The research shows this is especially pronounced for people in their 50s and 60s, and it shows up in predictable ways. You start social pruning, deliberately cutting out superficial relationships to focus on the ones that actually matter. You stop going to large social events and choose dinner with a close friend instead. You might leave unfulfilling work or other commitments that no longer align with your values. Maybe you finally quit that job you've been tolerating, or you stop volunteering for that organization that's become more about politics than purpose. And you develop this visceral intolerance for anything that feels like a waste of time. This is exactly how I experience it. It's a deep in my soul feeling. It's like, no, I'm not doing it. I don't care. Pointless meetings, superficial small talk, obligations you've been carrying out of guilt rather than genuine interest. In dating, this might mean you're done with people who play games or aren't straightforward about what they want. You stop tolerating partners who drain your energy or relationships that feel like work instead of connection. And here's the key thing. This isn't a breakdown. It's actually strategic. You're not becoming asocial. You're becoming selectively social. You're investing your limited time and energy where it actually pays off. And the data backs this up. Studies show that people who go through this recalibration end up happier and more satisfied with their lives. Their relationships get stronger because they're focusing on quality over quantity. They feel more authentic because their external life finally matches their internal values. And there's research on something called the U curve of happiness. Across dozens of countries and millions of people, life satisfaction generally dips in your 40s and early 50s, hits bottom, and then starts climbing again. And this recalibration process, this newfound intolerance for BS, if you will, is actually what drives you back up that curve. Now, let me be clear what this isn't. This isn't depression, where you lose interest in everything or can't find pleasure in activities you used to enjoy. This is different. You're selectively losing interest in things that lack meaning so you can focus on things that provide it. It's also not a so-called midlife crisis, and it's not just general crankiness. This is a targeted rejection of specific situations and people that feel inauthentic or wasteful. So if you're experiencing this shift, here's what I want you to know. It's normal, it's well documented, and it's actually healthy. Your newfound selectivity isn't selfishness. It's efficiency. You're finally understanding that saying yes to everything means saying no to the things that actually matter. This transformation is actually one of the better things about getting older. You stop living someone else's version of your life and start living your own. So trust that voice that says, I'm done with that. Say no to the things that drain you and say yes to the things that energize you. Focus on relationships that feel real and let those superficial ones fade away. You're not becoming asocial, you're becoming strategically social, and there's solid research showing that's exactly what you should be doing at this stage of life. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you experienced this shift? How has it changed your life? And if you're getting value from content like this, subscribe to the channel. I create videos for middle-aged guys who are done with their first chapter and want to live more authentically. I'll see you in the next one.